Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? Hope you're doing well. Happy Samhain. Yes, definitely. Happy Halloween. And for those of you just joining the channel, welcome. I do appreciate it and everything. I know I've been doing some very unflattering videos here lately, but just seems to be working out this way. So you know what? I don't care. I'm sticking with it. Uh, I'm going with the flow, whatever it is. And I've also got Little Miss down there at the base of my feet. I don't know if I just actually flip this around. Here she is. Hope y'all can see her. I'm not getting up. Yeah, she's just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. I just wanted to pop up here real quick and do a real quick video. Um, anyway, uh, main reason is I got to run to the grocery store get something to eat. So I'll do a little bit of cooking. I think I'm going to make some pizza and also get some stuff to make some lasagna. It just sounds good. I don't know. It's been sounding really good. I've been with me having these munchies here lately. It's like yeah, and then of course the sugars, being kind of low and so forth. It's like all right, you know what? I just been wanting a pizza, but I don't want store restaurant bought or whatever. Even though some of those have been smelling pretty good or whatever, but now I've been wanting my own pizza, so I'm gonna go get stuff to do that. So anyway, um, meat lovers, basically. Yeah. So yeah, I need to go run and get all that, and it's already afternoon. So yeah, real quick video. Um, Last night with work, I kind of got a late start. Mostly my fault. I actually, it was my fault. I had this terrible craving for something, and when I went to Walmart, and unfortunately, they only sell it at Walmart because it's their brand. And unfortunately, they were out. I was just like, all right, you know what, forget it. I need to work, blah blah blah. So, did a few runs and so forth, and then I wound up on the strip area. And of course, if I go down to the strip to drop something off, I always go offline because I'm not going to get caught up in that rat race, especially if I possibly get delivery requests where I have to go inside the casinos. No, not happening. Not just because of my respiratory issues, but because of all the issues that I have to deal with parking and no. And then I had to go inside. I had to find the place. Blah blah. Yeah, it's too much. It's like no, I'm not dealing with. It. Especially if I'm only getting paid. Like maybe $4 or $5 for an order. Screw you. Ain't happening. It's bad, and be happy that I'm actually willing to take orders to the hotels, and that's another thing too. Trying to get people to understand that a lot of these hotels, they do not allow us to go upstairs to the rooms, and some people are just like, well, no, I'm just like, no, okay, and either way. I'm just not going to do it, plain and simple. Not just because of of all the aromas that are inside, with dealing with the respiratory issues and so forth. I'm not dealing with it. Be happy you're getting food delivered, okay? And get your butt over there to the rideshare pickup area and get your order, okay? That's it, plain and simple. I'm just not dealing with it. I'm setting my healthy boundaries here. So but some of these people, they're either lazy or feel entitled or whatever, and it's like, no, get your butt down there, period. And like I said, a lot of these hotels, even small hotels, I'm not talking about the resorts. I'm talking about places off strip, or even if by chance they're on strip. Like I think that there's a travel lodge that's on strip. Small places like those, residence inns, courtyards, Motel 6s, so on and so forth. Well, don't have to worry so much with Travelodge or Motel 6, but places, like residents in courtyards, who have the rooms inside a building. They might be multi-story, what have you. Those places, they do not, after a certain time, hour, certain time, they do not allow anybody to go upstairs. And I've had those situations happen. Like, for instance, there was one way out on the west side of town, out there by Red Rock. Um, I think I don't remember the hotel, which one it was, but like I said, it was way out there on the west side, and it was after hours. And I mean, even the front doors were closed, and I had to be have the receptionist buzz me in, even the doors still wouldn't open. We both had to pry the doors open, unfortunately. But she's just like, sorry, I can't let you upstairs. And I'm like, well, can I leave this here? And she's like, yeah. And I just call them, and they have to come downstairs and get their food. So you're going to run into those situations. And it's for security reasons, especially after everything that happened, with the shooting. A lot of it is a result of the shooting. Something to keep in mind: if you come into town, you expect your food to be delivered right straight to your room because you're butt naked and you've been fucking your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, and you don't want to leave your room because you've been screwing around or whatever. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to put your clothes on, or at least a bathrobe or whatever, and go downstairs and get your food. Okay. And some drivers are just plain flat out not gonna go upstairs. And so if you don't, guess what? Your food's going to get left someplace. I've had to do that, actually, where person refused to come downstairs. I'm like, okay, fine. I just left their food someplace and took a picture, let them know where it was at, and took off. I can't go upstairs. What do you expect me to do? And plain flat out, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to enter into these hotels either. It's like, that's just the way it is. So, and it's not just because of my respiratory issues. It's like, you know what? Come down from your high tower. That's the way I look at it. I realize that you're in town to enjoy yourself, or you might be or think that you're some big shot or whatever, but guess what? You're not. Everybody, it's like I always say, everybody, I don't care who you are, how tough you think you are, how set up you are, whatever, everybody has one foot in the gutter at all times, no matter what. So you're not as big as what you think you are. So consider it an ego check, basically. So, excuse me. Anyway, speaking of respiratory issues, doing great. I am shocked. I mean, I know the doctor said it can take a good couple of weeks for it to really get in and so forth. I'm noticing that. But I'm getting better and better and better. And because of it, I know my energy levels are going up. I know my metabolism is going up. That's probably the big reason why my sugars are dropping. And I'm getting the munchies constantly. Yeah, I'm like Little Miss Zip Zip, especially when it comes to work. It's like I'm so headstrong. Um, when I get things rolling and so forth. Wow, yeah, it's like choom 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 choom. I'm averaging around 20 deliveries a night. So, and that's about somewhere between 6 and 8 hours, on average about 7 hours of work. So yeah, I'm definitely just, like I said, zip zip. So averaging about 4 to 5 hours worth of sleep. Might take a little bit of a nap, maybe an hour if I'm lucky, in the afternoon after I eat. Otherwise I'm just like shoom 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 shoom, which is fine by me. This is normal me. This mess of, being down and so on and so forth is not me. And I'm used to being able to go out and work and so forth. And I'll admit, it's been depressing. But now I'm getting back, and it feels wonderful. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's like, yeah, and I've noticed I'm still having a little bit of, excuse me, a little bit of issues here and there with things, and that's when I know, okay, slow down, or take a moment or whatever. But yeah, I'm feeling so much better, and I'm only doing one puff out of the inhaler, but I make sure I do it um, before I go to bed, because I do feel it. I do have some issues, and at least with doing it before, this, and it's yeah, I deal with a little bit of muscle cramping. Had one last night in the heel of my one foot. How do you get a muscle cramp in the heel of your foot? I have no idea, but excuse me, I did. Um, but yeah, doing a lot better. And it's mostly, as far as when I do it, it's mostly like the lightheaded dizziness that I feel. That's the big thing, and I feel it going in there and just opening things up, and and so on and so forth. It can be a little bit difficult sometimes. But yeah, if I just go ahead and do it right before I go to sleep, yeah, it can be a little distracting with trying to fall asleep, with the effects that I do feel. But ultimately, they calm down, and then, of course, the tiredness kicks in, and then bam, I wake up in the morning, I feel a lot better. So that seems to be the magic formula that's working well for me. If you're having issues, maybe with a new medication or something like that, and if you can play with it, like what I did, because by rights, I'm supposed to be doing two puffs twice a day. And it was just, yeah, I did it, the two puffs initially, but I only did it the one time because, I mean, it hit me hard. And I was just like, nope. So I cut it back to the one. um, just before I go to bed, and that seems to be the magic formula for me. So if you can play around with your medication, and even the swelling in my hands, it's gone too. So yeah, my rings have gotten loose again. I do feel a little bit of swelling here and there every once in a while, but for the most part, yeah, it's like my rings are nice and loose again. So that's awesome. Excuse me. Um, do get a little bit of congestion here and there or what have you, but it's more normal, you know? It's normal sort of stuff that I'm going through. It's like it just feels so wonderful being able to do that, just that, what I just did, and not gasping, in like, in between, just being able to do that deep breath and not having some sort of reaction, and not having to feel like I have to catch myself, and not have any pushback on it, on the breathing, and not have any pain. It's like just normal. It's awesome. It's been a journey. And those of you who have been following me since this past summer, when I got really bad, know how much of a journey this has been for me, just to be able to breathe normal. So, and that's the main reason why I advocate continue to wear your masks, especially this time of year with us, those of us in the northern hemisphere coming into cold and flu season. You do not want, I don't know if I had COVID or not. I suspect that I probably did. This was 2 years ago, but it left me with this issue. And I've met a few people who have had the same issue because of it, either mostly because of COVID, some of it RSV. I don't know if I had either one of those or maybe something else. I know Omicron was going around at that time, the Omicron variant, and it was quite virulent, and it definitely left with issues ever since then. But it feels good to be able to breathe normal. And I had to go down to the office yesterday where they use that cleaner that activates. Yeah, I did. It definitely got inside. It stuck with me for a while, but I didn't have a reaction. That's the big thing. I didn't have a reaction. Just the chemical kind of stuck around a little bit in my airways. But yeah, and I've been able to go down laundry detergent aisles. Yeah, haven't been able to do that. It's like, whoa. So yeah, it's been a journey. It has been a journey these last couple of years, and especially since this last summer. It's been tough, but I'm getting there. Some of it has been my own homeopathic stuff. Some of it has been, of course, this inhaler. I think I've been on it for a week now. And it's just amazing how much I've changed, how much is all cleared up. It's been wonderful. So anyway, yeah, there's that's been going on. A little bit here and there. I just felt it right there a little bit. But it's a little chilly in here too. Excuse me. A little bit there. Sorry. Um, just keep playing, and try the homeopathic stuff that I've been touting. Acupressure mat and pillow, having them going right here, laying on those for 30 minutes. I haven't been doing any of that, but this is just for people who may be uh, uh, just coming to across one of my videos. Welcome again, first of all, but things that you can try yourself if you can't get to a doctor or something, or maybe modern medicine isn't helping. Acupressure mat and pillow, you can find them up on Amazon for $20-$30, and they come as a set. Um, um, Essential oils mixed with using almond oil as your base oil, just massaging it all in, doing massages. I know it might seem weird or whatever, but hey, if it works, who cares? Doing massages to help. What else was it that I had done? Oh, the yoga stretches. At some point, I'll get around to doing those poses. Um, but yeah, yoga stretches that target the chest area. That's what's important. So yeah, definitely you want to see those. Those were my top three things, and also just having the essential oils with me at all times. So if I do have a flare up, I can just whiff them up underneath my nose without actually applying. Because you do have, when it comes to essential oils, you do have to apply them to a base oil unless they're pre-mixed. But make sure that you're using a good brand of essential oils. A lot of them will say that they're essential oils. Unfortunately, it's a um, industry that's not very well regulated, at least here in the States. And so, yeah, uh, make sure you have a good brand of essential oils. Like Oracacia is a really good one. I get those at Sprouts or Whole Foods, or you can even go to their website and buy them online. That's a really good brand. And try and stick with organic, at least in as much as possible. At least in that way, it's being have some sort of regulation that's happening. So anyway, yeah, you can try those. Um, or I used lavender and rose, but you can try different ones, see which ones work for you. Okay, because lavender or rose, you might have a negative reaction to them. So anyway, so yeah, with work last night, I kind of I wound up after taking care of that one order that I dropped off there on the strip, or I had a strip property. For those of you who don't know, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. So now you understand what I'm talking about as far as the strip is concerned. Um, Yeah, um, ooh, itchy nose. Um, of course, I always go offline before I even get down there, so that way I don't get any requests. And I go back to my usual haunt, basically. And but on the way, I decide, you know what, I'm going to try a different Walmart. And sure enough, they had what I was looking for. Oh, that definitely helps settle my craving. But because of all of the kind of goofing off that I was doing initially, well, I did have to get some things that I really desperately needed too, and I wanted to make sure I got those. But in the process, I wound up losing some time with work, and I try and be done no later than 3 in the morning. I mean that's my absolute latest that I try and work. But in the process, getting a little bit spiritual here, I got spirit definitely came through with my and Archangel Michael both came through and helped me make that up, that lost time. I just kept getting these requests in this one area I try and avoid because there's a Raising Cane's for whatever reason, and I've heard this with issues with both with DoorDash and Uber Eats. With Raising Cane's restaurant, when you're doing a delivery request out of one of those places, you have to use to pay for the order. You either have to use your own money, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go through those battles with trying to fight to get my own money back. Forget it. It ain't happening. But otherwise, you have to use this prepaid card. And for whatever reason, with Raising Cane's restaurants, it doesn't matter which location it is. I've tried different ones around the valley. It always declines the card. And I've tried calling our customer service to find out, what the deal is, and so on and so forth. But for it's I just can't seem to get that taken care of. And I've been round and round in circles with it, so I always decline the rides, the requests, because or if I wind up accepting it by accident, I turn right around and cancel it, saying, basically the card issue. And of course, it all winds up going against my ratings, but it's like, hey, what's the point of me showing up, especially if Uber is going to be constantly going back and forth with deciding if they're going to compensate us for showing up or not. I'm not forget it. I'm not willing to waste my time. I wish to hell they would get rid of whatever his name is, that CEO, because I know he's the one who's sending it down. The reason why that Uber is showing profits is because they're fucking us over. That's the reason why they're able to show profits. Okay? And part of that is because they're taking away benefits, like, okay, you show up and there winds up being an issue, you have to cancel the ride and you're not getting compensated for just showing up. That's the reason why Uber is showing profits. Okay, stockholders, that's the reason. Is because and I'm sorry, but we're the ones who are bearing the brunt of you all making money off of your stocks with the company. Okay? So, but fortunately, in this circumstance, yeah, I just kept getting requests around that area, and I wound up getting a request out of another restaurant. I knew they were close to closing time, and it was a high dollar amount. And I was just like, oh, great. Is this one of those ghost orders? Because sometimes those will come in where they just the system keeps sending the order out, even though somebody has already picked up the order or had to cancel it for because of various reasons, so on and so forth. But my intuition told me to go and show up. They usually don't have too many issues with them. I've actually never had any issues with that restaurant, so I was just like, okay, I'll take the chance. And I mean, we're talking a $39 request, and I was just like, okay, I'll take the chance. Show up, and the order was legit for a change. So that definitely helped make up for a lot. And on top of it, with my last request that I had gotten, it took me literally right around the corner from where I live. Even though the place is a bit creepy, at least at nighttime, it's very claustrophobic. And the with where you have to go to get to the actual apartments, there are these dark passageways, and it's and with the neighborhood that I'm living in now and everything, it was just kind of creepy, wondering if somebody might be hiding in the shadows or some shit like that, even though it's gated, you can get into a gated community easy, no problem. And it's just kind of like, yeah, it did creep me out. And especially with these rickety stairs, it was just like, oh, the whole situation creeped me out. But I had already gone offline, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this situation and go home early even. And I was really close to meeting my goal that I set myself up for every night. So it's like, okay, I'm just doing it. Take advantage of it, get a little bit extra sleep, some little bit extra rest and so forth. And yeah, good night. Veil is definitely thin, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and this was supposed to be a short video, and here I am at 26 minutes. I don't know how to shut up. Let's face it, I don't know how to shut up. So anyway, yeah, it wound up. It was a good night last night, even though I was horsing around and taking care of my munchie issues and so forth. It's like, yeah, it was a good night. So, anywho, yeah, now it's ascension number 1, 2, 3, 4, 1234. Yay! I love that. I love that time. Ah, love it. So anyway, one of those angel numbers. It's actually, if it's anytime you see 1234 on the clock, that's an ascension number. 1, 2, 3, 4, rising up, or just like a 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 4. Yeah, those are all ascension numbers. Let you know that you're ascending. Love it. So anyway, happy Halloween. I know, I love it. I had thought about maybe getting a pumpkin and carving it, maybe handing out a little bit of candy. There's a lot of kids that live in here, and I think there's a brother and sister that are homeschooled in here as well, from just kind of judging from what I've seen with them and so forth. Um, but yeah, we have actually quite a few kids that live in here. So much so, I've even seen a school bus come in to drop kids off. I'm not awake for them to be picked up, but the other day I seen a school bus dropping kids off. So I love it. I love being surrounded by kids again. I haven't really um, uh, been in this situation in a little bit, and it's like I really would have loved to have handed out candy, but I got to think of me right now. I know it sucks, but I've got this move, and I did find out yesterday too that I'm going to be able to stay right here, not in this room. I have to check out for one night. For those of you who don't know, I'm staying in a weekly, but it's kind of a weird situation where you can only stay in the room for 28 days and then you have to check out. Initially, it was you had to check out and go to another room, but now you're able to stay in the room, but you have to check out one night, and then you have to pay to keep your stuff in the room. But I don't know; it's just all weird. I don't understand it, but I'm assuming it's a way for them to be able to skirt around some sort of law that's in place, local law. I have no idea. I haven't asked about it. I don't care. But I did find out I'll be able to stay on site, and so at least will be able to keep my eye on things and so forth. And of course, I won't have access to the room. I'll be in another room, so I have to make sure I have everything with me. But I'll be able to stay right here on site, and I've even talked to them about possibly maybe the room right next door, maybe. But we'll see what happens. I'm not too sure what's going on over there. Um, if it might be if they might be in an eviction process or something. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Nobody's been there for a couple of weeks, but they haven't even shown the room, and a TV is being kept on. So I'm not too sure what's going on. I know that there was an issue there with the person who was renting the room. I think it may have been a spousal abuse situation or something, where a wife or girlfriend or whatever may have been trying to get away from somebody. Um, just because the police were over there and just kind of overhearing the conversation. It was kind of hard not to overhear. Not that I was, oh, wasn't anything like that. It was just more, couldn't help but overhear it. Um, but that's just the impression that I had, because even the office manager was there and so on and so forth, and so and everybody took off afterwards. So I don't know if maybe they're just keeping it that way until maybe things clear up with that or whatever. But I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. Anyway, I need to go now. It's 30 minutes. So anyway, and my camera's about ready to cut off. So I'll talk to you later. I love you guys. See you soon.